What are the daemon sets in Kubernetes? So daemon sets basically they are designed to manage the deployment of pods across all the nodes in a cluster. So as you can see in the diagram that we have an application which is hosted inside the container, and inside the container we have pods. Now these pods they have surrounded by different by nodes of cluster. So how the cluster formation is done? Suppose I have a node cluster, two node cluster. Means two node cluster is nothing we have. It means that we have two virtual machines corresponding to this. Okay, so these two machines can be a part of like a two node cluster. So how these two nodes will behave in a multi configuration. Okay, so that we will see. So in this video, like daemon sets basically they are used to manage the deployment of pods across all the nodes in a cluster. So this is my node 1, which is N1 I can see, and this is node 2, which is N2 I can see. So these are the two node cluster formation in our Kubernetes. Now how the monitoring or the insights of the node or in this two node cluster formation is done inside a pod. So that we will see. So basically these are called the daemon sets, which is ensuring that each specific pod is running a node, means on each node for log collectors, or you can say monitoring agents. So daemon sets you can nothing you can see for log collection we are using. How the log collection and these agents are being installed on each node. So for managing the log insights, what we have to do, we have to install the certain agents besides that. Okay, so for this I will rub it this. Now I have to check the agents for this. So I will install the agents, and it's similarly on the node 2 also I will install the agents. Now, what this evil agents will do, it will bring the insight. It will bring the insight to the pods. Okay, so this two node cluster formation. In that way, we can get the state of the different cluster node formation. Like this two node cluster is there, so we'll get the CPU usage if anything is high on my node one. Let's say N1, I will say, or any memory is high on node 2. So in that way, we'll get log insight basically from these types of nodes. So this responsibility of daemon sets to collect or manage the networking as well as log monitoring part of any kind of DNS services or proxy servers are missing. So for that we have daemon sets. It will automatically also manage the automatic updates. It will automatically add pods to new nodes. Suppose any new node formation is there. Suppose I have a requirement like N3. I will manage the node 3. I will have to bring two more virtual machine in that, because as the traffic is busy and also the you know people are accessing the app more and more, so there is a need to add this two more nodes in the cluster formation. This is the two node, so in that way we can have to so this daemon sets will manage those node selectors, and it will accordingly manage which nodes to be scheduled on. So now fault tolerance also will manage here. The pods will run on each nodes, as well as the update strategy. Means update strategy, you can see the rolling updates in order to minimize the disruption. So for there is a file called YAML file for daemon sets. It will manage the API version, which is called any app is there. So which version of like version 1 we are using, and the kind is daemon set, means the type of configuration we are managing. Metadata means suppose field D we are managing the metadata, and what are the specification, or these are the selectors, you can see the match labels. So what all things we have to take care. So since the metadata we have defined is fluently, so any specific service we are defining here, accordingly we'll manage templates inside the labels with providing with a specific name. Now inside the now this is the formation of a YAML file where we will specify the containers with its container name, with the image name of the container, which is compatible with version 111, and what are the resources inside that like what are the limit, we can say CPU memory limit, and accordingly the tolerances, like what are the key tolerance. So for this we have to define the Kubernetes role like inside the master, and if it exists then we can say that no schedule. So what the effect we can best bring it here. So basically, in the summarize, we can also do the basic practices called node affinity. We will manage where we have to control how the pods are scheduled, so that we can assign the node affinity role. How the resource management, we can use the efficient use of resources and scaling. And whereas we can manage the regular health checkup of the domain sets as and when required. No, it depends basically on the daemon sets, which ensure that pods run on every selected node in your cluster configuration. So it's basically the responsibility of daemon sets to manage the pods should run on. It will manage the best selector of pods, so that the two node cluster or the four node cluster combination can be run in our node. So basically, it's the selection of node in your cluster formation, which is the responsibility of daemon sets, which is perfect for log monitoring, and also for the node specific services. So also it will perform the rolling updates on the cluster formation. So this is all about the daemon sets. In the next video, we'll define of the operators and the CRDs or scripts in the functionality of Kubernetes. Thank you for watching.